running that intro thing.
For sure.
Hey. This is not a test. This is the real thing. This is not a drill. This is what we've been training for. We make plays every day. These regular fantasy fuckers over here. We make plays every day. Hey. Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogard Scott-Free. And I'm just going to introduce him right out the gate. It's our special guest that we are proud to have on. He's a fantasy fucker for sure. He's the fantasy fornicator himself, Jonathan. Hey, how you doing, my guy?
Yo, what's good, everybody, man? Appreciate you guys having me on. Bogard, man, much love. And yeah, man, we on here. We gonna do some damage tonight.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna get some drinks in. We gonna get this popping right, man.
So you might say we're gonna fuck the game up, right?
Hey,
you might say we about to fuck the game up.
You know, I'm jumping up on here. You know, I'm gonna be fucking up this podcast game up real quick, man.
Right? And with that said, I'm definitely trying to fuck the game up. And I was looking in the mirror. I was like, I might have took a dump, and then I'm washing my hands. I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, how are we gonna fuck the game up? I said, I need the fantasy fornicator. God damn it! You know what I'm saying? And here we are, bro. Like, okay, let's handle some quick housekeeping. Follow us at the GMM Network. Follow us on Twitter as the same handle, at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogard Scott Free World, and follow my man, the Fantasy Fornicator. Go ahead and let him know. Let him know where to follow you.
Yeah, man. You guys can find me on Instagram at Fantasy Fornicator. You could also find me on Twitter, FF Fornicator. And then YouTube, I just got my YouTube channel up. You could search me, Fantasy Fornicator, all one word, no spaces. You'll find me right there. Subscribe.
Yes. Okay. Now, all the housekeeping out of the way. First order of business, take a shot of this vodka. Right?
Shit, right? Yeah, I'm with you, man.
You know
Salud.
What you fucking with over there?
Man, I got me. I know.
Who's gonna pay our bills? Who's gonna pay our bills? What you drinking?
Man, they better pay our bills, man. I'm drinking Corona Familiar, bro.
Hey, Corona, give me money. You know what I'm saying? Tito's Vodka, give me money. Bud Light, give me money. All unofficial sponsors, but you know what I'm saying? They will pay us one day. You know what I mean?
It's coming.
Check this out. I want you to let the Playmakers know who the fantasy fornicator is. I want to really quickly touch on your backstory real quick. So tell me how you came with the fantasy fornicator name and how you discovered fantasy, just in a nutshell. Let the Playmakers know.
Yeah, man, no doubt. So I'm from Chicago, born and raised. Hey. For those that know, Fullerton and Cicero area.
Chi-Town, stand up.
Chi-Town, big city of dreams. Am I so big it don't fit in my jeans? That's like Kanye.
What was that? Was that some Yeezy?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I knew that. Shout out to Kanye West, friend of the show.
Hell yeah, man. So, but yeah, man. I started doing fantasy football. Honestly, I was in the Marines, and
oh man, shout out to you, man. I mean, shout out to all everyone in the service. Shout out to all the military men. You know what I'm saying? You definitely. I mean, bro, I can't downplay that at all. You know what I mean? I gotta big up that. You know what I'm saying? You're a Marine, man. Marines are the ones too. Don't let an Army motherfucker tell you different. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Aren't really Marines yet? Is what they call them.
Hey, man, it's all love, man. But you're right. But yeah, it's all love, though. But, I started, out there, man, it was beginner's luck, whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. This was around 05-ish. And, Yeah, man. I'm
Okay.
doing this for a long time, man.
Yeah, that's a good 15 years now.
Yeah, man. And
No
you know,
wonder I respect your perspective. Your perspective is seasoned. If I do say so
man,
myself.
I appreciate that, and yeah, man, it is season. You know, I listen to a lot of different people, including yourself. I listen to a lot of the people that you've had on. Actually, you know, I know you just had Smitty on. You know, he's
Yep.
you know
Shout
a
out to Smitty.
pioneer in the game. Shout out to Smitty. He's the pioneer in the game.
Yeah, he's
you
been
know,
around for a good minute too, low key. People don't know about Schmitty in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So I listen to a lot of different people, and then just one day, a couple years ago, right before the season started, I really didn't prep for anything. I was just like, one day I was just on my phone, and I was like, man, you know what? I was on Instagram, like, man, I'm just gonna roll with it, man. What's a good name? And I'm just like, man, what am I? Man, I'm gonna fuck up the game, man. I'm gonna fuck up this fantasy game. And I just came up with the Fantasy Fornicator, man.
I fucking love that name. I swear, bro. When I was starting up my channel and starting up my gram, right? When I was going and adding people to follow or following people, bro, I definitely clicked on Fantasy Fornicator because of the name. I was like, let's go check that out. You know what I mean? And then the name. I feel like the name suited your takes. Like, you are fucking the game up. You know what I mean? I appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? Especially the name let's be honest, when I was making my shit, Fantasy Fucker was already ticking. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, someone already got that. And then I was, but the Fantasy Fornicator now. You know what I'm saying? He's a one of one. He's a one of one, goddammit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. I was actually, but the name I was actually trying to get was Fantasy God, but somebody else had it. I was like, man, I don't be the fantasy god of this, but somebody had it. I couldn't get that name out there, so I just switched it up. Fantasy Fornicator, fucking up the game, and yeah, man. I just, man, I like giving a different perspective. I listen to a lot of different people, but I have my own twist to it. I'm open minded when it comes to listening people's side of the story, and I'm gonna give you mine. I go deep into it. I look at it as far as coaching changes. I don't look at just the stats of last year. I project things out depending on the changes that happen within the staff.
Yes.
And that's what I base my whole thing on, man. Because it's cool to look at the stats of last year, and you just rank them. There's a rank that's like the ESPN type thing or Yahoo type thing. They base their stats off of all of that, which is cool. You can't knock them; they're the big boys. But at the end of the day, a lot of people that play this game, they invest their money into it, and including us. And I try to give a different perspective of things, and just make you guys, look at it from a different point of view. I like to give a lot of sleepers, a lot of dark horses, and some of them don't hit. But when I do hit, man, they're bangers. So
I will say, I
man.
beat the fuck out of the David Montgomery drum last season, and I'm not off that this year. I actually like the fact that people are burned by him, and we could acquire him in mid rounds, even. You know what I mean?
So yeah, man, he's one of those guys that I was definitely gassing. I had him. A lot of people are gonna hate me right now. I had him in my top 12 last year.
So did I, bro. So did I.
I had him really. I had him really high. A lot of people did though, but the thing is that I'm a Bears fan through and through, and I'm gonna call it as I see it. And when you have a coach like Matt Nagy who has an offensive game plan, such as Andy Reid.
Oh yeah, he's from that family tree. Oh yeah.
Exactly. And
so
you can't run a game plan with an incompetent quarterback that can't read a defense, that can't, change the play at the line of scrimmage, who makes the wrong reads, and just, makes bad decisions, not accurate. So he had to cut his playbook from day one last year.
Yeah,
because of Mitch, and that just screwed everything up. It screwed up, timing. It screwed up, the wide receiver and quarterbacks were not on the same page at all last year. And that offensive line too, man. You know what? They suffered an injury with Kyle Long.
Yeah,
that didn't help things out, and they were shifting things around. And the Bears just looked flat on offense.
Yeah, man. You ain't lying, bro. Because they had one of the greater zone run lines. You know what I mean? Where like Jordan Howard, he flourished in that. You know what? How about this? You are a Chicago Bears fan. I wanna go through the NFC North. You know what I mean? Let's go team by team. Should we just continue with the Bears, or is that fine? Like, I mean, 'cause I almost want to save the best for last. That is my favorite team in that division. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, however you want to do it, man, it's your show. You know, we could warm them up with the other teams, and we could light them up on fire at the end with the Bears.
Okay, let's start with the division winner then. The reigning divisional champ is the Green Bay Packers, right? I don't you know is what they would say, right? You know what I'm saying? Out there in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, all right, so cheeseheads over there, man.
Right? So I want to point something out, right, about Green Bay last year. And I feel like Green Bay is like, people are getting fooled by them, because you look at what was it, 13-3, something like that? Right. 12-4, whatever the fuck their record was. Pretty. Actually, you know what? Let's say, hey Siri, what was Green Bay Packers record? Okay, never mind. She's talking about current. Okay, yeah, it was definitely 13 and I know, right? Fucking Siri, god damn it, my fucking co-host. Anyways,
fucking fired, Siri.
Yeah, you're fucking fired, dude. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, 13-3, right? Can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the Green Bay Packers schedule from last year? Is that possible?
Yeah, I could pull that up for you.
Yeah, because my internet is going ham right now.
No worries, man.
I feel like, bro, the whole world is online, like, constantly now. Not to say that it ever wasn't before this, but like everybody, like everything is jammed up. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, yeah, because I want you to pull up their schedule so we could really tell the Playmakers what kind of fool's gold the Green Bay Packers were in 2019. Like, their record, right? Look at week 1. They played the Bears, obviously, right? Thursday night, right? They barely eked that one out. They squeaked the win out, right? Let's go to week 2. What was it? The Vikings? Am I
the Vikings.
Right?
Yep.
And then what was week 3?
Broncos.
Right?
They won that one, yep.
Yep. It's mind you, week 1, Trubisky, right?
Oh, yeah.
Week 2, Kirk Cousins, you know what I'm saying? Week 3, Joe Flacco, whoever the fuck it was, right? In Broncos, right? What was week 4?
Week 4, you had the Eagles, where they lost.
Yep.
They lost against the Eagles.
On another Thursday nighter, right?
Yep.
And the Eagles were kind of trash last year too. Okay, go on. Week 5.
Oh yeah, they were injury riddled, man. But yeah, next up was the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. They pulled that dub.
Yep. Yeah. Aaron Jones. That was on basically the back of Aaron Jones. He had like the 200 yards and the 4 touchdowns and shit like that, right? So
big game.
And the Cowboys were definitely like, you know, they were hit or miss last year. So okay, go on.
And they had the Lions at home. That was another dub.
Yep, that was a Monday nighter, right? And that was still the Matt Stafford led Lions at the time. Okay, go on.
Then they had they just whooped on the Raiders 42-24.
Then they fucked the Raiders up. That's when Aaron Rodgers actually looked like Aaron Rodgers, but it also was a super duper trash secondary with the Raiders, right?
Oh my God!
Go on.
Yeah, take that, Gruden. Then on the road versus the Chiefs, they pulled out that win, actually, 31-24. Yep.
There was no Patrick Mahomes.
No Patty Mahomes. Right? Yep.
Okay, go on. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Then on the road, they lost versus the Chargers, 26-11.
Right, and you know what I'm saying. And see that's a perfect example of the point I'm trying to make, right? Like that with losing to the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it was on the road, etc. But okay, go on.
Then we had the Panthers. They pulled it out 24-16 at home.
And it was a thriller, too, that game, if I remember it, too, correctly. It was a thriller. Like, what is it called? The Panthers actually had a chance to come back in that game. And it was Kyle Allen. You know what I mean? Okay, go on.
Kyle Allen,
Go on.
Then they got blown out on the road versus the Niners, 37-8.
Oh, yeah, shout out to my Niners. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we don't even have to elaborate on that one. We just demolished them. You know what I'm saying?
Straight.
They actually flexed that game. Shout out to all my Niners. I actually was able – I'm a season ticket holder. I actually sold that game.
Oh, that's what's up.
Because they flexed that game to the night game, and I was like, bro, it's time to make some bread. You know what I mean? I was like –
Hell yeah.
Right? Okay, we're going. That's the one game I didn't go to last year, too, because I was like, fuck it, let's get this bag. You know what I mean? But,
That's crazy. Yeah, and they pulled their pants down and spanked them, man.
Yeah, they sure the
Big
fuck
time.
did. Okay, go on.
On the road, they pulled out that dub against the Giants, 31-13.
Yeah,
but that's
and
not saying
that's
much.
the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Shitty as fuck.
Then another one versus the Redskins, 20-15.
Same
like
thing.
That's come
Shitty.
on. Yep. And then the Bears, obviously they weren't the same team, man. They lost, or excuse me, they pulled out that win against the Bears, 21-13.
Yep, and that was the one game where it was like I remember playing against Devontae Adams that week. I was playing. My opponent had D Adams, and I was like, "God damn it, he's good for one touchdown," and he got it. And like,
yeah.
Like, okay, but go on, continue.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is that dude, man. If he wasn't injured last year, man, he would have been,
bro.
Big. I had him all over the place, man, and that shit hurt.
Oh, I know, right? And then it wasn't really like there was a replacement either. It was like, well, do I grab someone? Like, it was like, do I grab Alan Lazard? Like, and then like none of them worked. It was like, fuck it. It was like Aaron Jones time. But yeah, okay, go on.
Then you had the Vikings, and they pulled out that win there. Mm-hmm. And of course, my computer, what the hell, just freaking took a shit on me.
I'm telling you, it's happening everywhere. It's happening all across America right now. Yeah. But okay, so how about this? To ultimately get to my point, look at that schedule. Look at how shitty those teams were. So Green Bay, I feel like, especially with the second year under Matt LaFleur, people are gonna be on game. People know what's up with them now. You know what I mean? And like I really feel like it's fool's gold. Like, like when I seen them in the NFC Championship, I was so excited. I was like, we're about to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, but when I seen us coming, playing against the Green Bay Packers, I'm like, these fuckers are playing with the game. They're not legit. And on paper, it says different. But like, if you paid attention to who they played all year, it was fucking fool's gold. I mean,
yeah, it wasn't impressive at all, man.
No.
Then you think about it like, well, you think about the Packers, right? Like going forward, and like you said, the schedule last year, it wasn't impressive at all.
And now they're going to have a number one schedule now. Now that they're going to play the number one teams now, as far as schedule wise. When you talk about them winning the division, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, his window is closing. So the pressure's on. They gotta give him some real help. I mean, they signed Devin Funchess. He's a good red zone threat. But other than that, what other weapons do they have? Yeah, they got Devontae Adams, but who after that is reliable? Yeah. Aaron Jones, I get it, but that's it. They need some major help. They need a speedster. They need a tight end. They need help on the line. They got the 30th pick in the first round. I really feel like they're gonna add offensive talent right there. And one little thing to keep an eye on. Not a lot of people are talking about. Aaron Jones right now. He's a possible holdout candidate. He's on his last year of his rookie deal. He's on his last year of his rookie deal, and I would not be surprised if this guy holds out and tries to get paid. And because I know that's what I would try to do. So after coming off a crazy year like that,
how happy is Jamal Williams? He's like, yeah, bro, you need to hold out so you can get paid. So he's like, yeah, so he can get his shot.
Exactly, and then so people got to remember last year with Melvin Gordon, he held out, and Austin Eckler came in and just took over. Man, he was flaming everybody up. So point. Jamal Williams, he could be one of those low-key,
JW?
Hey, man, if Aaron Jones holds out, this guy's going to step in right into that spot. So it's just something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying for sure he's going to hold out, but it's just, something to monitor.
Hold on, Fornicator. Let me write this down, Fornicator. Jamal Williams. I got to just it's something I do on the show. I got to just take some notes. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I bring on cats like you for a reason. You know what I mean? You're teaching me something or two right now, and I agree with that. Jamal Williams could be a late round darling, especially for everyone that does early drafts. You know what I'm saying? And even the fact that that we might be without training camp and shit like that, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like these players that are potentially trying to hold out, they're gonna miss out if they're not staying conditioned and this, that, and the third. Especially for someone like Jamal Williams, he's like, bro, you need to get paid so he can get his opportunity. You know what I mean? He's like, hold on, bro.
Yeah, and then again, going back with Eckler, that's a perfect example. You see what happened. Gordon held out. Eckler came in. He did his thing.
Very
and
good
then
example.
Eckler ended up getting extended. The Chargers, they didn't, obviously they didn't sign. They didn't extend Gordon, but they extended Austin Eckler, so he ended up benefiting. And we could possibly, on the low key, see Jamal Williams come up on this whole thing too.
Ooh, see. That's why I got the Fornicator on, bro. Shit like that. Okay,
Man, you already know.
Let's go on to the goddamn Vikings, right? With Corky Kirk, right? What's the outlook as far as their fantasy assets? Like, obviously there's Dalvin Cook, and now there's no more Diggs. How high you think Adam Thielen should go? Like, I actually, in our mock draft today, I actually acquired one Adam Thielen in the 4th round, and I was like, wow, I got so much value on that pick.
Damn,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, Adam Thielen, you always want that number 1 dog on a team, and that's who he is. A wide receiver in the PPR league. Adam Thielen's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Diggs took off a lot of heat, for
he sure did.
From him. But and that's the scary thing is, like, who's gonna be that dude that helps Thielen not attract all the defense attention on him?
Yeah.
So we got to see what happens with that. I have him right now right outside of my top 12 in my wide receiver rankings, Thielen. But in the 4th round, man, I'll take him all day. I'm hitting that button all day and put him on my squad for sure.
He's hitting that submit. He's like, give me all the Adam Thielen. You know what I mean? Hey,
yeah.
What's funny too is I'm like, one thing about me as a quote unquote fantasy analyst, I like to say quote unquote because I'm just a motherfucker that loves this shit, right? But people are,
I'm with you, bro.
They're calling me an analyst, so I'll wear the hat, right? But I love intangibles, shit that you can't measure. And one thing about Adam Thielen is, correct me if I'm wrong, the last time I checked, he is a white guy, right? Right?
Yeah,
and
he is.
The receiver position is dominated by the brothers. So, like,
yep.
Bro, you have to be really savvy to be a white boy receiver. You know what I mean? Because it's like reverse racism. You know what I mean? They're like, bro, like, they don't believe in him. He has to go harder. And you know what I mean? Like,
that's
Adam
right.
Thielen is so gritty. You know what I mean? He's the gritty white boy.
And what I like about him too, what I really like about him too, is you can move him all over the field, all over the formation. He's not primarily just out of the slot, man. So this dude's very diverse, man. And you know what? He's got a very good chemistry with Kirk Cousins. Oh, yeah. I know Kirk gets a lot of slack.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Kirk Cousins is white too, right?
Yeah, man.
They got that white boy connection, V. They're like, you feel me?
Hey, man. He's fighting him in stride a lot of times, man. So definitely, Thielen, Dalvin Cook is definitely another guy. We all know what he can do. Mm-hmm. I posted a video last year, April 2nd of last year, where I was saying Dalvin Cook was going to finish as a top 5 running back in PPR leagues. He finished number 3. So, yeah, man. So, the biggest thing about this whole team is Gary Kubiak. Everything changed last year.
Yes.
And when I talk about, I go a little bit more deeper into it than,
bro,
other cats.
I love it, bro. Keep on talking. Keep talking, bro.
So,
you're talking
so
that
check
ism.
it out. So my whole mentality last year was this. Gary Kubiak, man, what does he do? Why is he over here as an offensive advisor? Well, he does a lot of things real well, which is run a great zone blocking scheme for the run game. Oh, yeah. And if you think about careers that he has helped, C.J. Anderson, Terrell Davis, Arian Foster, and now Dalvin Cook, you could add that guy to the mix.
And bro, like, go further back, because check us out, Playmakers. If you aren't aware of who Gary Kubiak is, he got his coaching chops from Mike Shanahan. You know what I mean? So it's no coincidence that the zone run heavy scheme is implicated, because that's what the Shanahan system's all about. You also had Kevin Stefanski, who was essentially, just a child of Kubiak and Shanahan's system. You know what I mean? And now Stefanski got his opportunity to be a head coach in Cleveland, and Gary Kubiak is going ahead and taking the reins as the OC. You know what I mean? And with what's his name, Zimmerman, who's a defensive-minded kind of guy, what do they like to do? Defensive-minded coaches, they love to play defense, obviously, and then run the ball. And
Exactly.
so it's like a match made in heaven with Kubiak's system there. And for everyone, don't be afraid to grab Dalvin Cook with his injury history. Don't be afraid. Just make sure that later on in the draft, you go ahead and get you some Alexander Madison. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go with it next. Grab Dalvin Cook, but make sure you get Alexander Madison before your league mates, because that's going to seal the deal. You're going to have your number one workhorse no matter what if you do that. Another low-key guy to pay attention to in this offense is Irv Smith, the tight end. Pay attention to him. Get him, especially best ball leagues right now. I know a lot of people do best ball leagues.
They basically do best ball all year round, basically. Like, that's one of the earliest actual drafts people get involved in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So Irv Smith is one of those low-key sleepers. If you're somebody that, hey, you know what, forget the tight end. I don't want to pay the price early. I'm gonna grab a couple towards the end just to see what happens. He's one guy to keep in mind, Irv Smith. So, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison. Those are guys, pay attention to. Kirk Cousins, too, especially in 2 QB leagues. You can't be mad at that.
Super flex. Hey, and one thing I want to backpack off of what you just said is Irv Smith is a tight end in a Kubiak system, and we can go all the way back to every system that he ran. There was always a tight end that was fantasy relevant, and in this case, yes, they have Kyle Rudolph there. And they did pay him to keep him on, but Irv Smith is the young bull that they drafted, and they're really big on. And we've seen him flash last season. And in the Kubiak system, they're gonna religiously run, 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. So,
exactly.
And that's what you want for your tight end, because tight end is one of those things that could win you a championship. Like, if you could zero in on a tight end, especially one like Irv Smith, and if he comes at, because he's gonna come at value, he's gonna come through double-digit rounds for sure. Maybe even be a waiver wire acquisition. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely stamping that. I agree. I agree with the Fornicator. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So another thing too to keep in mind with the Minnesota Vikings, their defense, they took some hits, man. Xavier Rhodes, he's lost a step. He got released, so that was no big deal. But they lost a couple other DBs as well, Trey Wayans and Mackenzie Alexander. Yeah. So now their number one DB right now is Mike Hughes, who was ranked 88th. This is coming through Pro Football Focus rankings. So,
hey, Pro
that's
Football
not good
Focus,
at all, man.
Give me money. Shout out to Pro Football Focus. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? We got to get paid somehow, right? You know what I'm saying? No, but
yes, sir.
Bro, you ain't lying, bro. And to backpack off of what you just said again, bro, they led the league, them and the Raiders, are giving up the most touchdown receptions, 20 yards and up. So people were bombing it on them. You know what I mean? People were stretching the opposing offenses were stretching the field on those goddamn Vikings. You know what I mean? And the fact that Dalvin Cook, they are a run-heavy scheme. You know what I'm saying? They were able to control, time of possession to mask the fact that they had a bad secondary. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows Mike Zimmerman runs a tight ship. Everybody knows Mike Zimmerman's defenses are notable. And last year, they were giving up a ton of production through the air. You know what I mean?
They were, man. They got that pass rush. They got that nice front seven, but the back end, especially now, very questionable. So maybe those Vikings games, they might be a little bit higher scoring. So on the opposite side, maybe key in, on those players on the opposite side coming up this year. But they do got 2 first-round picks. I really think they're going to get a receiver and a DB, or who knows? Maybe they'll just roll with the receivers they have and get a couple. I mean,
with 2 first-round picks, they're going to get a receiver and a DB. I feel, because there is 40-something notable receivers in this draft class. You know what I mean? So And that's pretty uncanny. So even if they don't even look at a receiver in the first round, it is Zimmerman. So, he probably will go all defense with those picks. But, you know what I mean? When you get into the second round, there's still, and third and fourth, there's still going to be some notable receivers in this draft class. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
because
it's a very deep.
Yeah, because, come on now. BC Johnson, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to go for someone else. They're gonna need someone else. They didn't attack free agency at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Adam Thielen, as much as I love the white boy, you know what I mean? Like you said, there's got to be someone else to take the attention away to make him flourish.
Well, I mean, they made a signing, man. Don't disrespect Tajay Sharp like that, man. They did sign Tajay Sharp, man. So.
Shit, I'm sorry, Tajay Sharp. I don't mean to disrespect. Listen, your Christmas card is in the mail, Tajay Sharp. Listen, you know what I'm saying? This is why I got the Fornicator on. He has to bring this to my attention. I forgot about the Sharp one, Tajay.
Oh man.
That's fucking funny. I love that.
Oh shit.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, shout out Tajay, man. It's all love,
shout out to
Tajay,
Tajay, man. We fuck with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go on to the Lions, man. Like, how bad do the Lions want to be the Patriots, right?
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure every team wants to be the Patriots, but Matt Patricia is legit bringing over every Patriot he can. He really is,
man.
Right?
You know what? I hated it so much too because like I'm a big Kerryon Johnson fan.
I know.
And when they got LeGarrette Blount, I was like, what are you guys doing? How is this dude getting the ball over him? Like, come on, dog. Like, I was so pissed, man.
I was even advocating for him this year, his sophomore year, because they brought over Justin Bevel. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen Bevel. We've seen him in Seattle with Marshawn Lynch, and you know what I mean, like where it's like they're gonna be a run heavy scheme, and like here's the thing with Kerryon Johnson is he has a legit injury prone history.
Yeah, he does.
Dating all the way back to college. I mean, and he even said himself, "I'm not a workhorse. Don't make me a workhorse." You know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
I got him in the 7th round in this draft I did, and I was super happy about it.
Yeah, I'm not mad. The dude's talented, like you said. He needs somebody that he can split the workload with, and I think he's gonna be fine. A nice little 1-2 punch. I think he's gonna be a nice RB2 on weeks, and for sure flex start, surefire flex start every week.
Oh yeah.
Carry on at the minimum, but Detroit, Matthew Stafford, he was playing injured last year, and he still got it, man. I think he's an underrated quarterback.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think he gets.
He is, man. He really, really is. You think about him and Megatron. You had that combo back in the day. You were eating, man, bro. Straight up. And now you got Kenny Galladay, who he's doing his thing. He's from Chicago, man. For Chicago, so Kenny G's gonna do his thing.
He's from the Chi-Town?
Yeah, man.
Ooh,
so Kenny G.
So he's strapped
in the
up.
Midwest.
He got guns.
Yeah, you know it, man. He's got it on a silencer though. He's got the silencer on there, man. He's making it low key moves, but you know what? He's gonna blow up this year, and he's gonna crack the top 12 wide receivers.
Bro.
And he's gonna do his thing with Matthew Stafford. Marvin Jones is gonna come back. He's healthy this year, and T.J. Hawkinson. He looked great week 1, but like fell off the rest of the year.
But you know what though? Low key, T.J. Hawkinson would have had like 12 touchdown receptions for real, but he dropped like 7 of them. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like because I was always looking at him in daily fantasy. Like I was picking up a lot of Hawkinson in daily fantasy because. You know what I'm saying? People weren't really on him, but like I was definitely wrong about it. But at the same time, it's like his production would have been way higher, but he had a case of the drops. You know what I mean? But
he's got to work on that. But he gets open, and that's the most important thing. He creates separation. So when you have somebody that can create that separation, maybe he's just like, God damn, how the hell am I this open? And he needs to focus a little bit more. and secure that ball, secure that rock, and make Matthew Stafford relevant again, man. Because people are sleeping on him, like you said, and Hawkinson is another tight end, another low key tight end you guys could get. Keep him in mind.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do with their draft pick, and see if they get some help for Carry-On, get some help on the offensive side. I know on the defensive side they lost Darius Slay. He went to the Eagles, and they replaced him with Marcus Trufant. But that's a big drop off.
Desmond Trufant.
Yeah, Desmond Trufant. My bad.
Yeah, no, all good.
There's a Marcus Trufant too.
Yeah, there is. There definitely is. But yeah, so Trufant ain't no goddamn Slay. He's nowhere near the caliber of cornerback that Slay is. And I'm bro, this is why I got the Fornicator on, bro, because you bring up shit like that. Like, check this out, Playmakers. The fact that there's no more Darius Slay, this secondary, I mean, what you got? Melvin, what's his name? You got Rashad Melvin over there. He's legit, but he's mainly a nickelback. You know what I mean? But, like, aside from that, like, think about it. That secondary could be giving up a ton of points. So these players, like Kenny Golladay, like a Matthew Stafford, like these guys could be gems because they could be playing from behind a lot, where you're going to see a lot of production because of that fact. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, last year their defense finished 29th. 3 wins last year. They looked really, really bad, and they got the number 3 pick. They got them drafting that top cornerback. His name's slipping my mind right
Henderson?
now, but is that his name?
There's Henderson. There's Ferguson. I think I might be wrong. I've had a few.
Nah, man, I'm with you. I'm with you, but I'm hearing rumors they might trade back. They might trade back a little bit.
Well, it is a Bill Belichick wannabe, right? So he probably would. You know what I mean?
We wouldn't be surprised at all. But Detroit, they need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. Matt Patricia, that's supposedly his thing. I mean, he did it in New England, but was it really him? Was it Belichick? I'm not sure.
They are so gonna take Chase Young if he falls to them. I'll say that much.
Oh, for sure.
Redskins will be dumb as fuck if they don't get no Chase Young. Because there is like Tua rumors, shit like that. You know what I mean? Going to the Redskins, but like, bro.
Ron Rivera, he's gonna do the right thing. He's gonna get Chase Young.
Yeah, he is a
Riverboat Ron. He's not gonna take no gambles with that.
Yeah.
He's gonna take the surefire Chase Young. He was Ron Rivera, man. Mad respect to him. Part of the Bears organization at one point too.
Oh man, he's part of the '85. He's part of the Bears.
Shuffle Bears, man. Yeah,
bro,
the coach and all that.
Are you? I don't know how old are you? I'm 35. How old are you?
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, same here, man.
Right. 35. So you're aware of the Bears.
Yeah, man.
Bro,
I have those clips, all of that, man.
That was the drop I had ready for you. I was like, man, and my phone's over here fucking off the game. You know what I mean? My phone's over here getting fornicated even. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got no Jamaican horns. I got no Bears drop. I'm like, bruh. I'm not doing the Fornicator justice by, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, but yeah. No, and with that said too, I mean, I didn't mean to immediately date us by saying our age, right? But just to, I wanted to ask that because you are aware of the pop culture effect that, the Bears and Mike Ditka had on the world. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, man. Real big over here. And, Ditka gets mad respect. He's got his restaurants over here. The guy could do whatever he wants. The whole Bears team could do that 85 Bears, they could do whatever they want in Chicago. They're good. They're good, man, all the way. The punky QB.
Let me ask you a question.
All that, man.
Let me ask you a question. Who would win in a fight? Right? All right, who would win in a fight? Mitchell Trubisky or 80-year-old Mike Ditka?
Man, I'm going to take Ditka all
right.
day, the coach, man.
That was a trick question. It was a trick question. We know Mike Ditka kicks everyone's ass.
Yeah, man. Hey, straight up, man.
His mustache alone. His mustache will kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, man, just that look, man. I was actually watching highlights of him coaching on the sidelines, just yelling at people, pulling him on the side, like just yelling at them, cursing them out. I was like, man, can you imagine having a coach like that? Not like today. Hey, man, players ain't gonna want to listen to him, man.
Yeah, but players are so sensitive these days.
It would be fun to watch, though. I would love to see some coach to try to do that Ditka stuff, man. I would love to see what would happen, man.
Bro, Mike Ditka, he should. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has one already, but he definitely has a hairspray line for sure. Because like, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the world there's a Mike Ditka hairspray that you can purchase because his dude was like. On top of the mustache, and what people don't realize too, he was a tight end, if I remember correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a tight end, man.
Yeah, bro, and they're getting their hands dirty. You know what I mean? Tight ends are out there, especially during the era of football that he was playing in. Bro, he was out there just he was out there shredding the blitz. He was out there fucking blocking downfield, you know what I mean? He was getting his hands dirty. And he was a receiving tight end too, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to Mike.
He was, man. He was one of those guys that a tight end, you'd be scared to be lined up across from him because you knew you were going to take a hit for sure. Definitely changed the game up, man.
Okay, so now speaking on Mike Ditka and the Bears, let's get to the Bears now, right? To close up this NFC North conversation, right? I mean, we're not done after this, but I'm just saying, like, so now we're on the Bears. Tell me about how you feel about Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, right? Coming through with the, obviously he played under Matt Nagy, and obviously he played under John DeFilippo, so and those guys are in the building. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Tell me, does this scream they believe in Trubisky, so they're bringing in someone like Nick Foles that could challenge him, or does this to you mean that Nick Foles should be the guy? Like, what side of the fence are you on?
So the people that are saying like, oh, this is because I have heard people say this is to bring out the best in Mr. Trubisky. Look, man, I don't need no other man to bring out the best out of me. So all I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need that. And Mitch, he's supposed to be a professional. He's supposed to be the number 2 pick of the NFL draft. He got picked before Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. And a lot of people here in Chicago that I talk to, and I'm sick and tired of people saying this, like, oh, nobody knew about Patrick Mahomes. You didn't know about him. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know about him, but I'm not a part of the Bears organization. I don't get paid a grip. Like these fools, the obvious pick was Deshaun Watson. Dude has a full resume.
Yeah,
been a 4-year starter the whole year dig since high school.
It tripped me out too. Like looking at Trubisky only having 13 starts in college. Like he was definitely a project. Like he's a project. He wasn't a full-on starter out the gate. You know what I mean? And still,
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't a starter for like 3 years or something like that. And then finally, that last year, he got that start. He was a one-hit wonder. He wasn't even all that. And, hey, Ryan Pace, he took that chance, took that gamble, and now he's on the hot seat.
Hey, shout out to Ryan Pace because
Ryan Pace, man.
No, John Lynch definitely bamboozled him. My Niners GM. We definitely put out false information that we were looking at him to go ahead and get an extra pick and just let you guys move up one spot to go ahead and acquire one Trubisky. Yeah, it was pretty dirty. It was dirty. Shout out to John Lynch. Man. They sure did. And Playmakers, pay attention. The Fornicator would know about fucking some shit up. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man. And so, yeah, okay. Big Dick Nick, Miss Trubisky, what's going to happen here? Why did it happen? Let's go with that first. Okay. Why did that happen? Why did that deal, take place?
Yeah, because they actually traded for him, and Nick Foles, he actually had like a notable contract. Like it wasn't they actually, that could have been one of the only teams that Nick Foles would have been willing to work with because he had all the coaches that he was familiar with in the building, and he was able to go ahead and adjust his contract when they traded for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he adjusted it to the Bears' favor. He spread out that $24 million guaranteed for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
and $8 million a year. So to me, they had a talk that nobody's talking about right now, and they said, "Hey, man, you got this job. You know, like we can't run." Matt Nagy knows him from back in the days, you know, since Philly, I believe.
No,
and he
since
told him,
Kansas City.
Kansas City, okay, yeah, since Kansas City.
The 1 year that Kansas City under Andy Reid, there was one season they didn't get into the playoffs, and it was a year that Alex Smith got hurt, and Nick Foles came in and relieved him. And okay, how about this, bro? Fill me on this. Nick Foles, what we know about him is he's a God-fearing man. He's a good He's a good Christian. So how much does God love him, right? It's like everywhere he goes, he just prays, right? And then motherfucker gets the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, bro.
He does, and then he puts in mad work. That's the thing. And so that's why I'm telling you, Matt Nagy had a big say in this deal. He told Ryan Pace, like, look, man, if you want to keep your job and I want to keep my job, we need to get a quarterback under center that knows how to read a defense and knows how to run my offense, because this dude ain't doing it. He's not cutting it. I can't run my offense. If you don't have a quarterback that can run your offense as not even just the offensive coordinator, but the head coach, dude, you're not going to succeed in this league. And last year, the Bears, they were, I believe, number 3 or number 4 defense in points given up. I believe it was like 17 or something like that.
As opposed to the year prior.
Or they were giving up like 18 or 19, and the offense was scoring like 17 and 18. Dude, like, come on, man. You don't even need the offense to carry the team. We just need you to be middle of the pack. They couldn't even do that.
How much do you miss my man Vic Fangio? Like,
oh yeah, man,
Fangio, bro. Like, he is the truth when it comes to like running a defense, bro. Like, he's the guy. Like, Chuck, you know, I'm not trying to knock Chuck Pagano, but like Chuck Pagano, when he was the head coach of the Colts, and Chuck Pagano's a defensive minded guy, like they had one of the worst defenses. You know what I mean? And they had, right? Like, it was all Andrew Luck pretty much, just like throwing them back into the games. And it was like, you know what I mean? And then, so when he went to Chicago, I was like, you know, and I don't chase last year's production by any means. So like, I wasn't on the Bears defense at all that, you know, last year. You know what I mean? Where it was like, yeah, and Chuck Pagano just, you know, he's doing Chuck Pagano things where they're giving up a ton of points.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the coaching changes. You got to peep that. Yeah, the defense was great the year before, but the scheme changes. There's things that change within when the coach leaves and another coach comes in. Like, things are going to change, man. And we saw it. Even Khalil Mack didn't have the impact.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Like, a person like Vic Fangio knew what he was doing when they traded for one Khalil Mack, the Mack truck. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And like, bro, he wasn't trucking last year. It was fucked up. Like, it was like you weren't. And what was his name? One of your guys' linebackers. He got hurt last year, and then
Trevathan.
Yeah, Danny Trevathan. When he got hurt, all of a sudden you could start running backs against the Bears. You weren't afraid to start running backs against the Bears.
Who else besides him? That's a dog, just a straight dog in this game, man. Akeem Hicks, man.
Oh yeah,
dude, the big dude in the middle.
Yes.
Hey, once he was gone, the whole defense changed, bro.
You're right, bro. That's why I got the Fornicator on here, Playmakers. He is fucking 100% correct. It was losing Hicks. I'm sorry. Losing Hicks was a real big shot at that defense. Like, soon as they lost Hicks, bro, like, you could run on them. Like, even more than Trevathan. Losing Trevathan. Like, adding the loss, does that make sense? Adding the loss? I don't know. I've had a few. But yes, also losing Hicks was like, oh my God. Like, bro, you guys gave up more 100-round outings to opposing running backs in one season than you guys did in all of the Vic Fangio era. You know what I mean? I think you guys gave up like 6 or 7 100-yard running backs. Not 6 or 7. I think it was like 5 actually. I forget. I mean, you know, shout out to Pro Football Focus. They would probably know this, but yeah, you know what I mean? I would ask Siri, but she's on some fuck shit right now. You know what I mean? Like,
but you're right though. You're on the right path because once you take a player out like Hicks, and then Trevathan's gone, and then Roquan Smith wasn't himself for some of the year. He had to miss some games for personal reasons too. Now that middle of the defense, it's looking real nice to that running back now.
Yeah,
real nice. Aaron Jones and them boys are running all over us. So, yeah, man, that definitely that really hurt the Bears on the defensive side, losing the coach, and then the injuries on top of that. But let's keep these things in perspective real quick, man. I'm not the type of person that's gonna let them slide because that Bears defense still held defenses at about 18-point clip, while the offense was only scoring 17. So, the offense is the one that dropped the ball, and Mitch Trubisky is the one that couldn't hit the open receiver. He's the one that couldn't read a defense. He was the one fumbling, handoffs and. He was the one not running an offense, man. A lot of players in Chicago on the Bears, they respect him because he's in there, he's grinding, he's looking at film, he's trying to get better with his accuracy. But on game day, I don't see it, man. I don't see it, and we should move on. We're losing time. This defense is in its prime, man. So yeah, that's my little rhyme right there, real quick.
I like that. I see you with the bars.
Hey. We got to get it together, man. On offense, we need some offensive line help. Kyle Long is gone. We need somebody to step up. They signed Jermaine Ifedi from the Seattle Seahawks, who I believe he led the league in offensive penalties last year, for the last 2 years or something like that. So, that's definitely not an upgrade. So that's just some more competition there. We need we need a couple wide receivers at least, because it's just Allen Robinson. Anthony Miller is okay. But we need some defensive backs help too. We needed that number 2 cornerback. We lost Prince Amukamara. We also lost Clinton Dix at safety. Yep. So the Bears don't have a first-round pick either because we gave that up.
Yeah. What was that? From the Mac trade? Is that still from the Mac trade too?
Still from the Mac trade. So 2 picks in the second round. They have a lot of holes to fill. We'll see what they do.
I love Allen Robinson.
He's a dog.
I'm such an Allen Robinson truther, especially
the pride of Penn State,
bro. Especially, shout out to Penn State, but especially where you can acquire him. You know what I mean? In drafts, in 12-team redrafts, he should be a 4th rounder, and you're getting a number 1 guy in the 4th round, and you know what I mean? Same way I was able to get an Adam Thielen in the 4th round, and I was fucking loving it. Allen Robinson also, and here's the thing too, we've seen Allen Robinson do it with all kind of shitty quarterbacks, even dating all the way back to his time with, Blake Bortles, goddammit, you know what I mean? Chase, and then it's time with Chase Daniels and Mitchell Trubisky. It's just pepper the fuck out of Allen Robinson, you know what I mean? And he's still hella young too. I think he's 25 or something like that.
He's 25, 26, something like that. And he's trying to work out a deal right now with the Bears. They need to sign him. They can't play around. They can't play any games with this guy. Like you said, he's been getting the job done with the worst of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And, make no mistake about it, Mr. Trubisky, he was the worst quarterback that started in the NFL last year. If you look at QBR, he was 32nd, I believe. 32nd or 31st. He was just one of the worst, hands down.
You know what's crazy about the biscuit, right? It's crazy because, bro, he'll have, I feel like if the Bears were playing in prime time all the time, Trubisky would be the shit because he will show up in prime time. Maybe not against the Chiefs on that Sunday night, but, remember games against the Cowboys on that Thursday nighter. He balled out.
And somebody like me that hates Mitch so much because I feel like it's a waste of time. I hate it when he has those games because it gives false hope to these Bears fans over here that want to argue with me and tell me I'm crazy. I'm looking at the same game these people are looking at. I'm like, man, you guys are crazy. What do you guys see in Mitch?
Who do you think?
Okay. I don't understand it at all, man.
If there's a triple threat match, and it's Mitchell Trubisky and Jay Cutler and Mike Ditka, who takes it?
Man, I'm going with the coach all day, man. The coach
I know,
all
right?
day,
That was
man.
another.
But, hey,
It was
but
another
Jay,
trick
but Jay,
question.
hey, smoking Jay Cuddy though, man. He's gonna finish number 2 for sure.
Bro, smoking Jay Cuddy, if he had his own cigarette brand, I'm buying it. Fuck it. I mean, he deserves his own cigarette line. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy is I saw like on the news, I don't know, some article. I saw that the first 2 or 3 weeks of this whole thing with the coronavirus, he was like chilling in an island with like his wife and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, that's such a smoking Jay Cutler move, man.
It really is, right?
Chilling, like, fuck it. You guys dealing with that shit over there. I'm gonna chill over here, man. Fuck
Bro.
it. Like, that's so Jay Cutler, man.
Smoking Jay, bro. Smokey Jay himself. God damn it. This motherfucker is entertainment, bro. Like, I feel like him doing the reality TV shit is exactly where he needs to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because, like,
he's a trip, man.
He is a trip. And you know what's funny too is like, he definitely shouldn't be an announcer because I know at one point there was rumors he was gonna be an announcer. It's like he reminds me of like David Carr as far as like because if anybody listens to David Carr's analysis, he's so sour as a QB. Like he's so mad at all the great QBs in the game. He always is trying to point out like shitty things about these quarterbacks, and like I feel like Jay Cutler would have been the same way. Like, listen, he would get on and just shit on every quarterback. You know?
Yo, that shit would be so fun. I would love it too if he just like lit up a cigar during the game. Like, that should be dope.
You know what?
You can't do that. You can't do that. I don't give a fuck. I'm smoking Jay Cuddy, man.
You know what? With that said, you know what? I think it's time to light up. I'm about to light something up. And
man, I'm with you.
Check this out, Playmakers. It is. We are on the back of 420. It is coming up. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and keep this thing lit. You know what I mean? I'm over here. I got no lighter. I had to light a candle, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I don't get no wax on this goddamn J. I'm about to light. You know what I'm saying? I know you got You got the backwood rolled up, right?
Yes, sir.
Backwoods give us money. You know what I mean? Oh yeah.
Let's get it.
I'm getting high with the Fornicator, B.
Hell yeah, all the way from the Cali to the Shy, we getting high over here. Playmakers, baby, Playmakers.
Oh yeah, and you are a playmaker as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got you on the Real Fantasy Playmakers. God damn it. Okay, so now tell me, how are you dealing with this Corona climate confinement? I mean, I know you're not exactly confined because you are an essential worker. Shout out to you. You know what I mean? You are still out there trucking, like literally. You know what I mean? Like,
literally trucking, yeah.
Right? Like, how tell me about like how is normal life different to you now? Like your normal like life.
Yeah, so obviously routines have changed. I mean, for everybody, you're wiping everything down. It's just a crazy change of lifestyle. So you're cleaning everything up, you're sanitizing everything you touch. You're worried about bringing that stuff back home to your family. Yeah. I'm taking my shoes off and my work clothes like in the garage, and I'm spraying it down and going straight into the house and throwing it into the washer and dryer. Like it's so crazy. You get home and you tell your kids and your girl like, hey, don't touch me. Like let me take a shower first. Or, that's like my daughter, she's 3 and she's she's trying to see her dad. But she's trying to hold me and stuff.
You gotta hit her with the stiff arm one time on you. Like, hold on, baby. Hold on, not just yet.
Gotta hit it with the Heisman pose, man. And I'm like, man, but that hurts though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy how this is affecting everybody, and it's real. A lot of people were taking it, not as serious, but like we see what's going on around the world and how in the U.S., I believe we got the most cases now. If I'm not mistaken, bro, unfortunately.
I'm from the Bay Area, California, and to be specific, I'm from Santa Clara County, and we have the highest rate of Corona cases right now in the nation. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I'm living in Silicon Valley, like I said. It's tech central. So I'm wondering if that may be like, part of the cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many motherfuckers flying in and out of the place because they gotta work, and like, you know what I mean? Like, or even just the fact that we have like we have an extremely large Asian community across the Bay Area, and like with Chinese New Year, like, you had motherfuckers coming to and fro, and like, it's just crazy with the numbers spiking up right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm for real, bro. Like, just in the cut. Like, I'm not fucking around. I'm laid up in the cut. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do my part in that sense, where just stay, away from people. You know what I mean? Because that's essentially what we all should do. You know what I mean? Just stay away from each other right now.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, earlier today, I went to go drop off some supplies to my mom, and
bro, I love that you called it supplies. I love it because, listen, we don't, in the apocalypse, we don't call it. I was telling my girl this. I said, baby, she's like, we got to go grocery shopping. I said, no. You mean we got to go on a supply run? You know what I mean? Like, in the apocalypse, when you step out the house, it's a supply run, goddammit.
It really is, man. Like, and it's so weird, bro, because, like, I go to see my mom, and I'm like, man, you got to keep your distance. It's for her own safety, as well as mine. But, it's just crazy. I dropped off her stuff, and, it's just changing everything. Even the handshake thing, you can't shake up with people like that right now, because it's just, it's in your head. It's in your mind. And, a lot of people talk about, like, is this a real thing, or is this like a government thing? Like, man, I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm not playing on games with it.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's happening. Whatever the fuck it is, I mean, we can go down several rabbit holes of conspiracies and shit like that, but whatever the fuck it is, it's happening. You know what I mean? Like, this is real. Like, this is not nothing to be taken lightly. You know what I'm saying? Playmakers, and like, I mean, that's why this is another great reason having you on the show, to let the Playmakers know that, like, you are actually in the world. You know what I mean? Like, you are out there, delivering shit, picking shit up, whatever it is, and like, and you're putting yourself at risk too, because you never know about what did the next man, how serious he takes it. You know what I mean? Like, is this guy gloved up and masked up when he's giving you this package, or when he's, you know what I mean? Pause for a second. That sounded wrong. I said, when this man's giving me a package, pause.
Hell no.
But I mean, you're doing. I mean, I just want to Playmakers. We just have to appreciate all the essential workers. You know what I mean? Not just healthcare workers. I mean, bro, like, shout out to even all the bankers out there, the bank tellers. You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
sure.
Bro, I walked into a bank and I was wearing a fucking mask and gloves, and I had my stunners on with my hat and hoodie, and I'm in a bank. It's like I look like I'm about to rob this joint, but like, this is the world we're living in.
Crazy.
Now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, I'm in a bank with a mask on.
Hey, man, and you brought up the bank, talking about money. And right now, with everything that's going on, if I could give some advice to everybody that's listening, if you got some extra dough, or if you get that stimulus check that's going to come in, put some money and invest it into some stocks, man. This is the time to strike. If you got that extra cash, man, try to get your money up. Try to invest.
You want to know a bogey conspiracy?
Go ahead.
Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
They released the coronavirus. Because I heard that. Overnight, bro, like, my kids are in school on Zoom. The NFL draft is about to happen on Zoom. Bro, like, if there's anyone that's benefiting from this shit, it's Zoom and other streaming platforms in that sense, video streaming, shit like that. But, bro, like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
man. These people, like, they're making their money right now, and you got to look at the companies that are not, but are gonna boom right afterwards. So, like, these cruise lines, these airlines, all of that stuff. People stay in tune with that and get your money up.
Yeah, go ahead and try to copy some. Definitely try to copy some airline stocks, because like one of my co-hosts. Shout out to my man Franklin. He's a businessman. He still flies around, and he's like, bro, I'm on planes and there's like 8 people on there. like total, including like the pilot and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's
Crazy.
so crazy right now. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, what? So, are you in the city of Chicago? Like, are you? Like, are you in the city or are you outside the city? Like, I mean, not to get
Nah,
too
I'm outside. I'm outside.
specific.
You good, man. I'm outside the city. You know, I lived there my whole life, and you know, it's time to move out, man. You know, try to move in a safer environment and everything like that for the family. You know, that's what I decided to do last year, and you know,
Can I ask you a question?
moved out to the suburbs, man.
Can I? I mean, it's just better for our children, right? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you a question, like, cause you are from the Chi, right? Like, and this is this is obviously a fantasy show, but we're gonna veer off for just a second. Like, what do you think could help, like, society in Chicago as far as the gun violence and shit? You know what I mean? Because it's fucking crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure the youth in certain parts of Chicago, they're not even tripping off Corona. They're more so tripping off getting dome called by somebody. You feel me?
Oh yeah. So what they got to do is if you look at areas where a lot of crime and all that stuff happens, there's liquor stores in almost every single corner.
Yeah.
There's not enough outlets for the youth. And if you don't put money into that as a city, and these kids, they're coming up and all they see is what they see in their environment. What do you think is going to keep happening? It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's very true.
So we got to invest in ourselves. All that tax money that they tax us on our checks, they tax us on our homes, they tax us at the stores. Like, use that money and let's invest in the youth, because that's the future. And that's the only way that they're going to stop all this gun violence, if they look at it that way.
Okay, so we are of the same generation, right? Yeah. Bro, how much bullshit is Family Matters? Like, as far as a representation of the city of Chicago.
Yeah, man, not even close, man. Not even. I mean, back then, I was a shorty, so I was more like sheltered of all that type of stuff. I hadn't opened my eyes yet, but definitely that's
Steve Urkel is
so
definitely
fake,
a joke
man.
as fuck, right?
Yeah, that dude, he's always Urkel, man. I remember he used to get mad like years later that people were still calling him Urkel. I'm like, dude, what you want us to do, man?
I know,
Urkel,
right?
man.
You got the
Urkel's
bag,
in the world, bro.
Bro, like he's basically like for people that are like versed in pop culture and from our generation, when they think of Chicago, they're thinking of Michael Jordan and goddamn Steve Urkel. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man.
I never really even looked
at it like that.
I don't think ever in the history of ever that Michael Jordan and Steve Urkel were ever said in the same sentence until right here on the Real Fantasy Playmakers.
That's so crazy, man. Nobody in Chicago will ever say that, man. We would never say that. We're known for Al Capone. We're known for Michael Jordan. We'll say that type of shit, man. No one never knows Steve Urkel, man.
I did say, if I was specifying it in like people that are versed in pop culture. So, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, but definitely, I guess that was like a disclaimer, right? But yes, definitely Al Capone, deep dish pizza, Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn Steve Urkel. You know what I mean? You got to throw them all in the Kanye West now. Even Obama is being slept on. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, you're right.
You know what? Obama needs to do more. How about that? God damn it. You hear it? And I know you're listening, Obama. You need to go back to Chicago and do more for the youth, because they're out there bang bang shooting them up. Bro, are you a fan of Twista?
Oh yeah, man.
I fucking love Twista.
Yeah, man.
He's so low
Adrenaline
key.
rush, man.
Woo! Oh my god! Like I am an artist myself. I'm a rap artist, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And like, bro, he was barred up. Like he was one of those people
his
don't
style too. His style was mad different.
People are on his steez right now. Like before the Amigos and motherfuckers like that were like, the double time rapping, like, the fast shit. Bro, it was Twista and the Speed Knot Mobsters, and it was goddamn Do or Die.
Do or Die.
And it was, right? Come on, I'm knowing, bro. You know what I mean?
Bone Thugs.
Yes. Oh, I was about to go there. It was goddamn Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro. Like,
yeah.
Listen, all my young playmakers out there, you guys, if you guys aren't aware of those names, go, bruh. First of the month, bruh, fucking.
Mo Murda.
Oh, I love that I'm talking to a real authentic Midwestern right now, playmakers. You know what I'm saying? The Fornicator knows what time it is. Oh. And speaking of time, bro, thank you for, like, you know what I mean, allowing me to lag on you to a degree, because, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm over here trying to juggle all kind of shit, and I was like, even just forgetting, like, time itself, like, oh my god, I'm lagging on him. He's 2 hours ahead of me. Am I even right about? Am I right about that?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, oh my god, I was looking at my time. It was like 9 o'clock. I was like, oh shit, it's like 11. It's like 11:30 or whatever the fuck. I couldn't even do the math. I was so flustered. I was like, fuck. I was like, I hope I'm not, pun intended, fucking this up with the Fornicator. I was like,
nah, man. I was just working on some other stuff, man. I used that time, to do a little bit of research on some other stuff. I actually filmed a quick little video, that I gotta get edited and stuff like that.
Tell the Playmakers about your channel again. Tell them.
Yeah, man.
Because I got a sub too myself. I've yet to sub you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, for sure. So yeah, man, my channel once again on Instagram, at Fantasy Fornicator, Twitter FF Fornicator, and on YouTube you can find me too. Search bar, just Fantasy Fornicator, all one word. And what I'm about is I like to mix it up. I don't like copying what everybody, the main people, the mainstream are talking about. I feel like they kind of use last year's numbers to base their rankings. I go a little bit more into it. I check out the coaching changes.
Yes.
I look up other things as far as like, has this quarterback been working with this receiver in the off season, or just little things like that. I feel like it puts you a little bit over the top, or just at least let me give you some extra news or knowledge that you might want to use, and it might help you. But if you feel like it won't help you, that's cool too. But I'll just give you a different perspective on things, and I'll always keep it real, man. And if I fuck up, man, let me know in my comments. Let me know in my comments, man.
Playmakers, let me tell you something. In a nutshell, what he's saying is he is the Fornicator. So there's several different styles and positions, you know what I'm saying, as a Fornicator. So you can't just look at it as the game is missionary. No, we got doggy style. We got the reverse cowgirl. You know what I'm saying? We got all kind of different positions as fantasy fornicators. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to just the cut and dry black and white view of the mainstream, that's not what the Fornicator has to offer. You know what I mean? That's the Fornicator brings something else to the table. You know what I mean? And that's why he's on the Real Fantasy Playmakers with the madness that is known as Bogard Scott Free. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so
hell yeah.
Now are you working in the morning, or do you have an early shot in the morning? Like, we could shut it down now, but I'm still down to rock for a couple more. You know what I mean?
Let's get it.
If you're okay, all right, word. All right, so now let's we are fathers, right? And we have young children and shit like that, right? Tell me, what's the Fornicator Sunday look like? Like, do you separate yourself from everybody? Like, when you're absorbing, your Sunday, and when it's game day, right? Like, are you a red zone? Like, tell me, what is the Fornicators?
So, yeah, man. On Sundays, usually the kids, they'll watch football with me until they have enough of it. They want to go play their games or go play outside.
Yeah.
But, usually I get my brews. My girl makes sure she whips up some in the kitchen for me. Nice. Maybe I'll have some friends over.
Big up to Mrs. Fornicator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Shout out.
And, shout out.
Mrs. Fornicator even.
Oh, shit. And so we end up... yeah, she ends up, hooking all that up. Get my drinks, watch my games, and I usually go on Red Zone. I'll get on the Bears, but like they frustrate me a lot, man. Especially this past year, I was on Red Zone most of the time.
Bro, I'm a Niner fan, bro. My boys would be, obviously I have several different like threads and chats, right? But like my Niner chat, right? Motherfuckers would be like chiming in, and I'm like, oh, I missed that because I'm fucking watching Red Zone, and we're never in the Red Zone. So I'm like,
yeah, man. Like, I be doing the same thing.
Like I was so happy that we were good last year because obviously I am a faithful, you know what I mean? So it's like it was just cherry on top, like you know what I mean? Because I definitely would have the PIP, the picture in picture, you know what I mean? The Pope pimp, as some Chicagoans might call it, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Hey, I was going to ask you, I know you're a San Francisco 49er fan, so how do you feel coming up this year, man, with the Jimmy G? What do you think you guys are going to add in the draft? What do you think about that?
Okay, well, first I'm going to start off with something ignorant, right? And I happen to believe handsome Jimmy G himself, Jimmy Guapo, right? As I like to call him. I happen to believe that his biological father is Uncle Jesse from Full House. Right?
Damn.
Right? Another handsome gentleman, right? I'm perfectly comfortable with my sexuality as a heterosexual man to say another man is handsome. One. And like I did say, this was going to be my first ignorant. The first thing I was going to say was going to be ignorant, right? So with that said, Jimmy G is in San Francisco trying to find his father. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we were very aware. We were very aware of the ignorance as far as representation that Chicago had with Family Matters. Same way with Full House. You know what I mean? Full House is nowhere by any means a representation of what San Francisco is. And to backpack off my own statement is, goddamn, at least Family Matters, they addressed gun violence in some episodes. You know what I mean? Like
that's true,
right? And they even, obviously, Carl Winslow was a cop, and the motherfucker they had episodes where they were addressing like racial profiling and shit like that. So it's like,
yeah, they did,
right? Big up, Family Matters in that sense, right? But first of all, that's the second time we referenced Family Matters, right? Like, shout out to Steve Urkel and Michael Jordan. Goddamn it, I said their names in the same sentence again. And what? Playmakers. Fucking Urkel and Al Capone even, goddammit. But anyways, right, so now to really answer your question, I'm so happy that there is the 7th edition as far as the playoffs per conference.
Oh yeah,
right?
True that.
Because it's like, all right, check this out. I remember a time before the apocalypse, right? Where I went to training camp, like, and because we always go to training camp, we're faithfuls like that, and I was able to take my son because my son, he's 1 year old now, and he wasn't, I think he was probably like 6 or 7 months old, or 8 months old by the time we took him to training camp, and it was just something as a father where I was like, damn, I got my daughters here, we brought them before, but like now I got my son. It's like, it was epic to me, right? And like, just having the type of season we had, like, what I said about our season all year through the podcast, I would say we're winning ugly with handsome Jimmy. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn, nice.
Bruh, because it was like he was good money as far as he's going to make mistakes and big ones, you know what I mean? Like, same way he airmailed the fuck out of Manny Sanders in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Just airmailed the fuck out of him. First of all, side note, why the fuck is Manny Sanders playing football? He's heir to the throne of the KFC empire. I don't know why the fuck he's playing ball, right?
Hell no.
To throw some more ignorant Bogard shit out there, you know what I mean? But yes, I with the addition of the 7th seed, you know what I mean? I think our chances are pretty good, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you this much, bro. Let's just say what we're all thinking, right? Bro, with Nick Foles there, and him being a God-fearing man, and Jesus loves him, all this shit. Jesus walks even. That's probably his song when he gets out the shower. How he's playing Jesus walks, bro. If he's in, I worry about him being on the Bears because God's gonna answer his prayers, man. And you guys might be that 7th seed.
We might, man. That's right. The same thing, man. I was like, man, 7th seed, we got a chance, bro, because
right.
The NFC is stacked, man.
It's the Wild West
in there, man.
So I'm not really a gigantic baseball or basketball guy by any means. I'm not gonna front, but I am a Warriors fan, and like it's like for the longest, I would be like LeBron's in the East because what I'm saying, it's kind of naked out there, but in the West, it's crazy, and like. That's how I looked at the NFC last year, even going into this year. And now you throw in Tom Brady in the mix. Like the NFC is the Wild West, bro. It's Al Capone. God damn it. It's prohibition. It's fucking.
Man.
And we are kind of in prohibition right now, right? Like they're trying to take football away from us in sports and everything.
All of that, man. But no, man, the NFC, man, stacked. Your division, even, you guys got the Seahawks, the Rams, you guys, and the Cardinals too. Adding D-Hop, man. That's gonna be a nice. God. So that's gonna be a fun division right there, actually.
Bro, check out what I did. So I shout out to Smitty again, right? I had Smitty on, and the first time I had him on, right? He was all about Kyler Murray. He was like. This was legit like 2 days before the NFC Championship, like as far as like the date, like when I recorded it, right? And he was like, dude, I know it's January, but Kyler Murray is the guy who's like, I want to say it on your show. Kyler Murray's next year's Lamar Jackson, blah blah blah. He was just all about it.
Damn.
Then they trade for Nuke Skywalker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They go ahead and trade for fucking the Jedi, bro. Nuke. Bro, Skywalker even, you know what I mean? And like,
yes, sir.
And then so I made a conscious effort to reach back out to him. I was like, I need you back on now. You know what I mean? I need to know because I knew somewhere in the world Smitty was going crazy because and before I finish what I'm saying, I want to say something that I'm missing. The whole point is that when he was on my show, he was like, I'm the type of fantasy manager where fuck the Cardinals. If it's about my fantasy team, and if it's winning and succeeding, and if it's on the back of my Cardinals, I'm about it. He was like, I'm all about my fantasy team versus my fandom, right?
Damn.
Right? He declared it. So then I was on some fantasy fornicator shit. I was trying to fuck him up. I'm like, all right, well, how about this? Now that you guys got Nuke Skywalker. Am I crazy to be in like 1-6 or 1-7 in the draft, right? And in this case today, legit, I was 1-7. Am I crazy? I go Nuke Skywalker because I did that. Then I turn around Kenyon Drake. Then I turn around Kyler Murray, right? I asked him this, right? And it's funny because he was like, I'm all about that. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, because I was like, here's your chance now to have the best of both worlds. It's your players on your team, and you're the type of manager who is not, right? Who's like not opposed to shitting on his own team if it means him winning, right? But now he has a chance to have the Kyler Murray where he said, and when he was declaring Kyler Murray, at that time, he would have easily been a 5th or a 6th or 7th or 8th round pick. Now he's legit going in the 3rd. So I actually experimented with that today. I went Nuke because I was 1-7. I went Nuke.
Okay.
Turned around, went Drake. Turned around, went Murray. And
Damn.
I told people I was gonna do this if I had the opportunity. I almost feel like they put me at 7 just to see just to fuck, right? Shout out to the Rum Boys, right?
That's what's up.
But he legit was pulling names out of a hat, you know what I mean? And then we just claimed the round while we're right. But anyways, in the 4th round, I went ahead and got Adam Thielen, and then in the 5th, who was it? Oh, I went around and grabbed. I grabbed Mark Andrews, right? And then so I'm literally naked at depth as far as I got 2 receivers, I got 2 running backs, I got a quarterback, I got a fucking and bro, anyone who knows me, I'm the guy who ends up with Carson Palmer. I'm the guy who ends up with Carson Wentz. I'm the guy who ends up with Lamar Jackson. I'm the guy who ends up with Patrick Mahomes. Like, you know what I mean? I always advocate for a late round QB, but it's like in this day and age, right? Especially looking at someone like the air raid.
It's getting harder, man.
But think about the air raid system that's that's steadily taking over the league, right? Like you have Cliff Kingsbury, you know what I'm saying? You have Andy Reid, who's with Patrick Mahomes, who came from Texas A&M, who was in an air raid system. You know what I mean? Whereas like there's a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, a lot of spread offense. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing that in the league, and like if you look at a team like Arizona, who their secondary was so trash, and they legit ran the highest percentage of 8 men in the box. I don't know why, right? But that immediately resulted to like tight ends getting so much production against them. Like it was crazy. But my point is they were giving up so much points, and with Kyler Murray, what is he? I think it was like 540 pass attempts. Like. I legit feel there's a ceiling of like 600 pass attempts. Like,
that offense for sure, man.
Right? And like, if think about the 3rd round. Like, so if I grabbed the Murray in the 3rd round, there was other guys I could have grabbed. I could have grabbed like, there was a Cooper Kupp there with no more Brandon Cooks, and there was who else was in the 3rd? Oh no, Kittle was definitely gone. Damn, there was just other. When I was weighing my options, I was like, you know what? We're going with the trio. We're doing this. I was like, I already got Drake, and then I try that. And then I went ahead and grabbed me some Chase Edmonds for sure later on in the draft. I was like, because Kenya Drake never plays 16 games. You know what I mean? It's like, but this is the offense I want to hone in on. You know what I mean? The what is it called? I was glad to get Mark Andrews. I want a piece of that offense. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
I went ahead and grabbed. I was trying to grab Mecole Hardman. Someone snaked him, but I was trying to grab him double digits. You know what I mean? I was trying to get a piece of that one too.
I like him late too.
You know what I mean? Like, I want a piece of those offenses. Even going back to my Niners, bro. Like, can you remember MVP season for Matt Ryan? That was his 2nd year in Shanahan's his system. You know what I mean? And I like to believe that, Jimmy G being, maybe now 2 years removed off the ACL, we're gonna see more bootlegs and rollouts because, you know what I mean? I feel like the run game was working for us, so we just continued to advocate for the run game. You know what I mean? Like, but bro, I feel like there's another. Maybe I might sound like such a fucking homer right here, but. There's another level for Jimmy G as a passer. You know what I mean? And as having some little bit of wiggle. Hey, how about this? Do you remember when the Tom Brady rumors were going on with us like getting the
Oh yeah,
right?
I do remember that.
You know what I was saying? People were like, "Well, how are we gonna do that? We have Jimmy G," and I was like, "Easy. We're gonna trade Jimmy G to his home team." You know what I mean? The Bears.
Oh damn.
That was my bold prediction. I was like, bro, that's how we get Tom Brady. I didn't want Tom Brady. I love that we got handsome Jimmy. I love that he's in Frisco trying to find his father. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna further touch on that because I'm just gonna sound too much like a goddamn homer. You know what I mean? But with that said, man, follow us at the GMM Network on IG and Twitter. Follow me at Bogard Scott Free World. Follow my man, the Fornicator. Let him know where to follow you.
Yeah, man. IG at Fantasy Fornicator. Twitter, FF Fornicator. YouTube, you can search me, Fantasy Fornicator, all one word. And Bogey, thank you for inviting me. Appreciate you having me on. I had a lot of fun, man. Definitely got my drinks in. Definitely got my smoke in.
Oh yeah,
I'm much
for the record,
man.
I'm loaded as fuck right now, Playmakers. For the record, you know what I'm saying? And this is how I like to make friends, doing shit like this, man. Because, man, like I said, man, when you text me and you were like, I was surprised that you reached out. Like I was surprised you said you were surprised. Like, I'm like, your content is something that people need to pay attention to. I hope I can contribute to people, to getting to know your content. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a smaller platform right now as well. You know what I mean? Like, but listen, don't matter how small our platforms are right now. We are larger than life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we have to offer. You know what I mean? And I immediately knew I related to you because you are a father. You are a fornicator. I am as well. You know what I mean? We are procreators. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We're out there planting the seeds. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing when it comes to this fantasy content. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to deliver all the ism. We're trying to come through in the clutch. Like Nick Foles even. See what I did there? Okay, you didn't answer the question. To be honest, now that I think about it, Nick Foles or Trubisky?
Oh man, Nick Foles all day, man.
Yes, I love that.
Let's go.
I love that.
You know what though? The ultimate scenario. I'm such a Mitch Trubisky hater. Ultimate scenario. They give Mitch the start the season. Dude throws like 2-3 picks, gets booed out of town, and then Big Dick Nick just takes us all the way to the Super Bowl run. That's how much of a Mitch Trubisky hater I am, bro.
Okay, hold on. Do you have a few more minutes? Because I'm about to rant real quick. Are we good?
Go for it.
I'm first of all, my name is Bogard for a reason. Like, I'll be Bogarding as much as I can, and like, you know what I mean. I hate to take your time, but we are basically best friends right now. You know what I mean? Check this out.
Let's get it.
Okay, here's the Bogard theory. Here's the bogey theory with Nick Foles and Trubisky. Is you can agree with me. We've seen these two quarterbacks. They get hot in stretches. Bro, there's a world. And I said this, shout out to JMO the Icon. He's also a Chicago native. He's also a Chicago Bears fan. You know what I'm saying? Check out Playmakers. Check that episode out. You know what I'm saying? He's also a fellow member of the Rum Boys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the gang, right? But check this out, bro. When I had him on, right, I told him, I was like, there's a world where Trubisky could, like, rip off, like, 2 or 3 wins and then do what you just said. Throw a couple picks. And then get booed out of town. And then they put in Nick Foles, and he rocks for like 5 or 6, right? So now you guys got like, maybe by this time you guys are like, it's 10 weeks in the season, and you guys are 6-4, right? And then Nick Foles gets hurt like he does, and then Trubisky, he was on the bench, and he got this chip on his shoulder all of a sudden. All of a sudden, he's like, man. Right, and he comes in and then he rips off like 3 or 4 wins, and then you guys finish not even 3 or 4. He rips off 2 or 4, so you guys finish what fucking 8. I mean, maybe 9-7, 8-8 or 9-7, and that could be enough to get that goddamn 7th
spot. Yeah, damn, you're right. What the fuck? No,
man. Am I adding false hope? Am I?
Oh man. Dude, if that
but
shit happened,
you feel me on that though, right?
We've seen another roller coaster ride on a Chicago Bears trip mission to look for a quarterback, and I'm fucking tired of it, man.
Brody,
fucking damn,
bro. Man. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, we've seen these guys get hot, and if they could figure out the combination, if Matt Nagy can figure out the combination, right? In that division, where it's like. You probably are good for two W's against the goddamn Lions. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you go 1-1 with the Packers and goddamn Vikings. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a combination to be had there. Is that crazy?
No, man, you're right. I could definitely see that happening.
How much am I trying to make you put the Homer hat on? I'm hella trying to like put the Homer hat on.
Nah, man, look, man, look. I'm gonna tell you like this though. There's no way. I don't see this happening because Mitch, I'm telling you, Matt Nagy cannot run his full entire playbook with him under center. He just can't. And when you can't use all of your weapons, you can't use everything you have. You're limiting yourself because of the quarterback. You're gonna fail, and that's what happened last year.
Can I ask you? Here's another question: is it unfair for a young QB like Mitchell Trubisky like 13 starts in college. He comes into the league, right? They fire the whole regime after his rookie year. They bring in Matt Nagy, and then every year that Matt Nagy's been there since, he brings in a new offensive coordinator. And so it's like Mitchell Trubisky he has to learn all these new terminologies and different right? Is it unfair for a young QB?
Nah, man. Because look, you know Matt Nagy, he is the offensive coordinator. So whoever comes in as that OC, he's not really doing anything. You know, he's just
helping draw the plays.
He's just helping Matt Nagy out. This is Matt Nagy's playbook. This is what got him the job under Andy Reid. This is what he brought from KC.
Hey, why do you guys have so many goddamn tight ends too? Like,
oh,
bro,
man.
you know
like
how much of a
Trey, them, man.
Bro, I was a fucking Trey Burton truther, bro. Like
Trigger Trey.
Bro, motherfucking all the tight ends in an Andy Reid system, in a Doug Peterson system, and also Matt Nagy's system, like 20% of the target market share goes to the tight end position. I was so on Trey Burton, and
bro,
now
I thought it was a banger.
Me too.
I thought it was a banger too.
And then it's like he just has every tight end available now. You know what I mean? Just pay him even.
The crazy thing is, you guys got George Kittle. We drafted Adam Shaheen before you guys drafted George Kittle in the same draft.
Hey,
Ryan Pace, like what's up with you, Ryan? I don't get it, man. This guy drafts players like Kevin White in the first round who doesn't, who got injured, never played.
The legend, the legend of Kevin White. Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
God.
It's like players like that. Like, I know that was bad luck and something you can't predict, but just because it's Ryan Pace, like that, it just makes it so much worse, bro. Like, that just adds to the bad resume, you know?
It just makes sense after a while, huh? After, like, in 2020.
Oh, this guy's just got that bad luck, man. He's just, he wants to do everything like the Saints, He's trying, because he comes from New Orleans.
Yeah.
When he drafted Mitch Trubisky, he's like, oh, he's a young Drew Brees. Bro, where? Nowhere near, bro. No, don't ever say that again, man.
Were you on the fence? Were you on the side of like wanting Cam Newton as a Chicago Bear fan? Like when the rumors.
You know what side I was on, man? Bring any quarterback in here. I didn't care who it was, man.
No wonder you're like, yeah, Nick Foles, man, big dick, Nick. You're like, yeah, I love him.
Okay, so yeah, man, I brought him up. He was on one of my before he actually came through. Actually, I made another video, and I spoke about he was one of the guys. Him, Cam Newton. I was like, man, I don't care. Bring Jameis in here. Anybody.
I think I remember that post. I think I actually remember that post on the gram. Like you posted that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because I'm asking you too because it's like, obviously QB is the quintessential position, right? Like obviously it starts and ends with the QB, but like in a place like Chicago where historically their defense is what it do, and like you know what I mean? Like I'm just hoping Chuck Pagano cannot do Chuck Pagano things because I think he's a bad coordinator. I don't.
Well, and he lost some pieces like we were talking about earlier.
Because
one good thing is they got Robert Quinn. They got
having a bad defense.
That was a great signing.
Oh yeah, it really is, bro. Imagine Robert Quinn, savvy vet, right? And then you have Khalil Mack. Oh man, and then is Floyd? Did you guys bring back Floyd too?
No, we let him go. We replaced him with Robert Quinn.
With Quinn, okay.
Yep, and then don't forget Akeem Hicks. He's gonna be healthy. All pro Akeem Hicks.
And
Danny Trevathan, healthy.
Quan Smith, young Ro.
And Roquan Smith, yes
young
sir.
Ro?
Bulldog.
I'm actually excited for the Bears DST late because no one's gonna be looking at them.
And that's why we were talking about. They got the 2 picks in the second round. They're gonna nail a DB. They're gonna get him, and they gotta get a wide receiver too. Maybe 2 deep. Man, I don't know, man. They need help on a secondary for sure.
Bro, if you guys draft a tight end, I'm gonna slap myself.
Oh hell no, bro, no, man.
You guys got all the tight ends. You guys got like 8 of them.
We do. We got 8 tight ends, man. And what's crazy is Jimmy Graham had more receiving yards than all of those guys put together last year.
That's why they're like, Ryan Pace was like, we need to give him the bag. We're like, he was like, Jimmy Graham.
Dude, he went all out too for him, man. Gave him
He's
a lot of money.
I remember him in New Orleans. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah, exactly. That's what he did, man. That's what he did.
Oh man, bro, this is low key one of the most epic joints. And I remember texting you. I was like, this episode is about to be lit than a bitch. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. We got it. We got it going on, man. Have some drinks in. We got our smoke in, man. And, talking to the people is always love, man. And, again, man, I appreciate you having me on.
Man,
it's all love. Whenever you want to collab,
this ain't the
whatever
first
you
time,
want to
bro.
do, let me know.
We're gonna bring you back on. You know what I'm saying? Like I, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not even just drunk when I say this. I actually wrote this down to bring this up on air to say you know what I mean? Like I am trying to expand. And bro, I would love to have you as on a regular guest, bro. Like I would love, I want to help support your brand. You know what I mean? I feel like our brands, our brands mesh. You know what I'm saying? Our brands, big pause, but our brands fornicate, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is
something about them.
The universe brought us together, man. You know what I'm saying? And I am a God-fearing man. I'm not quite religious at all by any means, but I definitely believe in something greater than us, and I believe something greater brought us together, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's something that that's why when you said you were surprised, bro, I was just like, I was surprised you said you were surprised, because I'm like, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, and man, I appreciate that you actually tune in, you know what I mean, and you check my shit out, because I do the same, and and to be honest, Playmakers, I don't expect anybody to do what I do, you know what I mean? Because only I can do what I do. But when there's another individual like the Fornicator who's actually checking my joint out, same way I was checking his out, pause, right? Bro, it's something uncanny, and it's something that I couldn't ignore, and it brought us to right here, episode 57 of the goddamn Real Fantasy Playmakers. You know what I'm saying? This is the extendo version. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again, my brother. You know what I mean? You be safe out there. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. You be safe too, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, bro. And you know what? One more time. Tell them where to find you. I don't want them to not find you. And all the links will be in the description. But you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to hear from the Fornicator.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Again, Fantasy Fornicator. On Instagram, FF Fornicator. On Twitter, on YouTube, just started a channel. You guys can find me, Fantasy Fornicator, all one word in the search bar. You guys will find me. Appreciate it, man. Love all day.
For sure, man. Much love, my brother. Thank you again.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Peace.
Peace.
The Fantasy Fornicator, goddammit. Oh, he's still there? Yeah. All right, let me cut this thing off. Real quick. Hold on. Hold on 1 second.